What's going on, everybody? Good afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well. And it's time for us to do the other half of the Jalen Milroe tape study. The first video, the one I posted a couple hours ago, and by the way, if you haven't already seen that video, go watch it. It looked at probably the best game that Jalen Milroe played at least last year and quite possibly in his whole career, where he put the team on his back to beat Georgia. And in this video, we got to take a look at the other side here, because the other side is, I think, pretty significant. The other side is, I feel, pretty bad and needs to be understood. It needs to be understood that this guy has a lot of holes in his game, and some of the holes are not necessarily things that are going to just come right out with a couple weeks of work. So we're going to take a look at his game in Tennessee last year, week 8 of the 2024 season. So we got a pretty poor statistical game here, right? 25 of 45 for 239 yards, so very inefficient, not a particularly good completion percentage. You've got a touchdown, you've got 2 interceptions, 14 rushes for 11 yards. Now, I know that college football does their stupid thing with the stats, but 14 rushes for 11 yards paints the picture of a game where he was not impactful with his legs regardless. 0 big-time throws, 2 turnover-worthy plays, 7.9 average depth of target, 2 drops, 2 sacks taken, and a 2.79 time to throw. So that's not all bad, but a lot of it's pretty bad. It's the second game we're looking at where he doesn't have a single big-time throw, and the reason why that is quite honestly, he doesn't have a lot of PFF graded big time throws. So it's not a coincidence that the 2 games we're looking at feature 0 BTT. And in this game, he actually deserves some of his turnovers. All right. So let's go ahead and dive in here. This is going to take a while, but I think it'll be worth the time we spend. So going to start in the first quarter here early on. There's a shotgun snap that just bounces right off his chest. I don't think it was a bad snap at all. I don't even think it was necessarily an early snap. It just didn't find his hands. Maybe he wasn't expecting it, but I don't think the center did anything wrong here. Milroe just dives on it for a 4-yard loss. Next play, he gets flushed from the pocket. He climbs up the pocket well to avoid the pressure, but doesn't really have much of a shot to make a completion. He chucks it downfield, and it's nowhere near the receiver, but I mean, there wasn't much there anyway. So no real criticism here. Next time Alabama gets the ball, they run a jet sweep read option keeper. And Milroe, again, shows his open field agility and explosiveness. He has a great juke to find the outside yards. So, again, you're seeing the skills with his legs that are making some people like him as much as they do. Next play is a check down on 3rd and short. Again, these are simple, basic throws, but the reason why I wanted to call this one out is I think his throw led the running back right into the defender, which prevented a first down conversion. I think that there was a right place to put that ball where it would have led the running back into space where he could have gotten the first, but just a minor accuracy hiccup causes no first down because the running back is led right into the defense. A little bit, okay, I'm sorry. The next play, actually, they go for it on 4th down, and it's a fake quarterback sneak. He basically does that thing where he fakes like he's going to QB sneak, and then he shuffles to the left and goes through a hole. And it is a cool play because you can tell that it's mostly him. It's him reading that the defense is going to collapse on that side and going there, and he almost hits a house call. It's a shoestring tackle that brings him back. So it's one of those plays where you realize this guy isn't just fast. He's not just agile. He's talented at running. He's a talented running quarterback. And I do think that stuff is going to persist even into the NFL. Okay, so next play, there's a bubble screen to the tight end. It's an awful throw. It just kind of exhibits his basic level accuracy issue. Bubble screen to the tight end, routine play, way behind him. It's incomplete. It's a very simple throw. I'm not sure. I feel like his feet didn't get set right, although Milroe's footwork always looks bad. So it's hard to tell what is actually outside the bounds of him not getting his feet set right. But either way, it's this kind of stuff that makes me wonder, because this has nothing to do with scheme. I know some people say, well, Milroe was a bad fit for the DeBoer offense, and maybe he was, but that accuracy stuff, it's something you see more often than you should, and that shouldn't really have much to do with the scheme. Now, you can say, hey, just don't run those plays, but it's not that simple. Like, these are basic plays that you should be able to hit. Next play, he's rolling to his right, which is, by the way, where he's supposed to be good, right? He's outside the pocket, rolling to his right. He fires down the field at his receiver, badly behind him. He's running a slant from left to right, and he's open. He's open. He can catch the ball, but it's just way behind him. Honestly, the throw is so bad, he's lucky there was no safety lurking behind him, because he would have picked it off. So it's just another example of you seeing the accuracy just get away from him at times. And again, he's outside the pocket. This should be his wheelhouse. He lives for this stuff. Next play, he does a good job sitting in the pocket, and then he has to go through his progressions. He does a great job resetting after a pump fake and hitting a middle of the field throw. I think there was even maybe a little bit of touch on it. So again, I know it sounds like a pretty basic thing, but for a quarterback like this that is mostly talent without refinement, it's good to see things like this. He sits in a clean pocket for an extended period, resets after thinking he's going to go one way, goes through his progressions, finds a first down the field. Maybe you can make an argument the throw was a little bit high, but I don't really think so. It's a play that does encourage you. But then very next play, he does that thing where he takes off and runs before he needs to and before he should. He gets the snap, goes into an immediate quarterback draw. I don't think it was designed that way. Maybe. Hard to know. But it was ill-advised. There's no hole. He loses a couple yards. Just the defense straight collapses on him. Felt like he just decided to improvise and paid for it. Next play, he gets a great pocket. He gets plenty of time back there to go through his read. And he throws a 13-yard out route, pretty routine throw, and he misses. It's just wide. I don't even really know what else to say about it, other than that it's another sign of inaccuracy. And we are barely 6 minutes into this game, and we are seeing sign after sign after sign of some plain inaccurate balls. And these are not inaccuracies caused by pressure. These are not inaccuracies that are caused by seemingly like a bad route. They're just inaccuracies caused by probably bad mechanics and fundamentals. Next play, though, he climbs the pocket away from the pressure. Well, he does a good job of getting away from the initial pressure, but he had another open receiver, wide open, and he just wings it behind him. Now, on this play, I understand he's getting pressured. I understand that he's on the move. I understand he's a little bit hurried, but it's a wide open receiver who had the first down on a 3rd and long probably, and he just wings it behind him. So these are the reps that kind of bother me as somebody who's trying to understand this stuff. Alabama gets the ball back again like a minute later. So the defense is doing their job. Clearly, they keep getting the ball back to Milroe, and we're just not seeing the very good results so far in this game. It was a one-on-one ball, no real chance of hitting it. I don't think it's really like a bad throw or anything like that. It's just one of those plays where the receiver is so well covered, the ball just kind of falls incomplete. Next play, calmly hits an intermediate middle of the field throw, which I think was a nice little settling throw where he's like, okay, I've been very inaccurate with my last like 4 or 5 passes. Let's just hit an intermediate middle of the field throw. It was good to see. A little bit later, there's a good sharp check down to the flat in the red zone, guiding the receiver away from the defense this time so we can go get some yak. They run the QB Eagles run again. And again, if you don't know what the QB Eagles run is, look it up in Tecmo Bowl. They had the Eagles playbook had a special play. It's a QB Eagles run. I believe this is in the red zone. And it's dead on arrival. Can't escape. 5-yard loss. Defense just kind of eats them up. Next play, I think he did a really good job working through progressions and hitting his Texas route. It's possible the Texas route was his first read, but if that's the case, then he did a good job looking the defense off. Hits his running back for a big first down to get to first and goal. So you can see him work through his, again, either work through his progressions or look off the defense so he can hit the Texas route. And maybe the ball was a tiny bit behind the running back if we're really nitpicking here, but I love the Texas route. It's one of my favorite plays in football, and I like what he did on that play overall. And then a minute later, in a goal-to-go situation, we see the bad Milroe return. He throws a fade to the back corner to his receiver. It comes out like a bullet, though. I mean, I think it was a fade to the back corner. I think that's the idea, but he throws it like a bullet, and it's an easy interception for the Tennessee corner. I think it's Brew McCoy. And I don't know what he was trying to do here. I think it was supposed to be the back corner throw, but he gets no air on it. And the cornerback just kind of turns around, snatches it, and he almost takes it back 100 yards. He ends up taking it back about 50. But it's an example of what I'm kind of talking about here. It's an example of what I criticize with the inability to put touch on the ball. Everything, he just hurls it like a shot put. And on a play like this, you need a little bit of touch. I don't know if it would have helped that much, but maybe if he had gotten it a little further out there, it could have at least gone over the cornerback and at worst fallen incomplete. Next time he gets the ball back, it's still the first quarter. Where, I mean, there was a lot to talk about in this first quarter, honestly. 0-step drop, hit accurately for short curl to convert a second down. Very simple play, but it's good to see for a guy who does have a little bit of a rep for holding onto the ball too long. And he ends off the first quarter with a one-on-one back shoulder fade, not in the end zone, but it's another back shoulder fade. Throws it way too high. Receiver has no shot at it. Another inaccurate throw again. So we're through one quarter, and Milroe has let some real howlers loose from his arm. I'm sorry, that's just the reality. Starting the second quarter, he stands tall in the pocket on 3rd and long. He delivers a decent throw, maybe not a perfect throw, but I think it's a decent throw, and the receiver just kind of whiffs on it. It was maybe going to be a conversion too, so I don't know if it's a drop, but I think the receiver had more to do with the incompletion than... oh, excuse me. More to do with the incompletion than the quarterback, so I'm going to put that one on the receiver. A little bit later, he bails out from a broken pocket after a pump fake, finds a nice lane for a first down. Again, it's that improvisational stuff that people like about Milroe. Next play is a bubble screen. It's a good, sharp bubble screen. It's on point and on time for a big run after the catch. Sometimes I feel like when I'm talking about this stuff, I'm sounding patronizing, but no, this stuff matters. So that's good. Next play throws another end zone fade. Again, I think he throws it flat and low. I don't think he's getting enough air on it, but it ends up hitting for a touchdown. Ryan Williams makes an adjustment to get it. Cornerback never turns to see it. I don't know if it's a good throw. I think it's more a great catch by Ryan Williams than anything else, but it works, I guess. But you're seeing the lack of touch in his throws that I talk about sometimes. Next time he gets the ball back a couple minutes later, he's got all day in the pocket on a play. He's got an awkward looking release, wide open receiver, throwing it downfield, and the ball just doesn't look comfortable coming out, and the throw is high, and I don't know why. I don't really understand why this ball was an incompletion. It wrecks the drive, results in ultimately them giving possession back. I think his footwork is causing this, but he does it so often, I almost feel like that's just how he plays. He's got this wide stance that I just don't think is very good. Next play, there's an immediate pressure on 3rd and long. Barely gets it away incomplete, just kind of a throwaway, not much to say. The pressure was there too quickly for him to do much. They get the ball back with a little less than 7 minutes left in the second quarter. He does have one play where I think he worked to his second read and throws a good ball. It's a short pass to his left side, but I think he did a good job coming right to left. So you do see him work through his progressions when he feels like he's got some time to work with. Next play, the blitz is on him immediately. He scrambles to buy time and manages to get a throw out that has a chance, but it's broken up at the catch point. It's just the way things go sometimes. So, I mean, some stuff here is workable. Couple minutes later, he gets the ball back again, second quarter, still. Fake pitch, rolls the opposite way, and he's trying to escape, but James Pierce is a little bit too good, gets him down for the sack. Good play by Pierce. And there's really not too much else to say there. Next play, there's a clean pocket, and he actually progressed to a middle of the field throw for a first down. It's a big throw in this game. It's an important throw to keep a possession going. So it's a nice little play. Nothing bad to say about it. Just a clean pocket, and he takes advantage by methodically working through his reads. Gets another clean pocket on the next play. Hits a nice tight window comebacker. One of the rare instances in this game where I saw him fit a throw into a tight window. It was a difficult throw, and he made it. Next play was a quick curl, and he hits it, but I think he's a little bit inaccurate here, meaning that there's no first down. This should have been a first down. It wasn't because he was inaccurate, which meant the receiver had to adjust to get it, which meant he couldn't turn up field and get yak. And he only needed a little bit. All right, next play, it's fourth down. He does a fake quarterback sneak again and pops outside to get the first down. He barely gets it, but there's a timeout, so they have to do the QB sneak again. And this time it's a QB sneak traditionally. And I don't think he got it. They gave it to him. I don't think he got it. I remember watching this play live back last season. I didn't think he got it then. I still don't think he got it now, but they gave it to him. Next play, he scrambles up to beat the blindside pressure, but it's an ugly throw. He throws it high. Now he is getting pressured, but throwing on the move is supposed to be his strength, so you don't like to see that. Next play, the blindside rusher gets to him again, and the throw just kind of flutters incomplete. He gets blasted right as he throws it. Not much to criticize. And the final play for him of the second quarter, there's a good pocket, but then it breaks down, and he just has to throw it away. So the pressure starts to get to him here a little bit, I think. And that takes us to our third quarter here. So first notable play of the third quarter for him was a zone read keeper. This is after several handoffs. And because he had handed it off a few times in a row, the defense crashes down on the running back. And he just uses his speed to get to the outside to get the first down. So there's not much to it, but you see that he's faster than most of these guys, and he uses it to his advantage. The first second half drive for Bama in this game was almost entirely handoffs to the running back. It felt like they were trying to settle Milroe down because they knew he wasn't having a good game, and they just wanted to have a possession where all he had to do was hand the ball off. But the drive ultimately stalls out because they run a quarterback draw on a 3rd and short, and the safety comes up and shuts it down. So, again, they've really got the clamps on Milroe's running in this game for the most part. Credit to Tennessee, I think, more than anything else, but you can see how this stuff can be neutralized, and Milroe doesn't necessarily have a great plan B. All right, so that gets us to our next possession here in the third quarter. Puts a quick slant on Ryan Williams accurately for a first down gain. So you're seeing those NFL caliber throws on simple plays. Next play is a shot play on a deep out. He draws a pass interference on Bernard, wide receiver. So, I mean, it's not a great throw, but it's the throw that needed to be made. And it draws an interference call. Next play, there's a blitz. The blitz gets home very quickly, and he manages to scramble away and throw away. I see things like that, and it's not certainly the biggest deal in the world, but it does kind of make me happy to see him understand how to utilize his mobility, not just to run, but to actually buy time and sometimes just throw it into the dirt. Next play is a bubble screen, and it's a good throw. Maybe it could have led him upfield a little bit more, but it's a decent enough throw, sets up good yak. They get a first down, they move into field goal range. It's a pretty big play. I think that maybe you could argue the throw could have pushed upfield a little bit more, like I said, but again, you're kind of nitpicking here, and I think it's fair to nitpick when you're talking about a quarterback, but it's not a bad throw. Next play, zone read keeper. Vol's defense just swallows it up. Milroe can't get anything going here. Watching the game, there are a couple plays where I think that Milroe made a mistake by where he ran and the way in which he ran, but Tennessee played really well in this game overall, clamping that down. Next play, he sits in a clean pocket and hits a tight end on the right sideline with a firm throw. Good throw. And it gets the job done. It converts, I believe, a relatively long down and distance situation. So good throw here. He throws a go route to the weak side in a situation where I think they had like trips to the left and one receiver to the right. He goes one-on-one to the right, and it's slightly overthrown. He had the play. He had the touchdown, but if you look at the play, the defensive back gets away with a little bit of a tug. And if not for that tug, I think this is a go route touchdown. And admittedly, we might be having a different conversation about this game if Milroe gets his touchdown here. He almost certainly would have if not for that tug that the defensive back got away with. Next play, does a good job standing in against the blitz, and he makes a decent throw into the blitz, but goes into tight coverage, incomplete, third down. I think actually on this play, if you look at it, it seems like the receiver stumbled. And I think they may have had something if he didn't. And we're getting to the end of the third quarter here. We got a short curl that he hits in the face of pressure. Despite unset feet, he hits it accurately. Nice play. A little bit later in the third quarter, hits screen while getting blasted by rusher. Still manages to get it off accurately, so good sign there. Right at the end of the third quarter, there's a play where he holds onto the ball too long, and he gets bear hugged by the rusher. Somehow manages to throw the ball. They only pick up a few yards on a check down, but it displayed his strength. It displayed his ability to improvise. It displayed his ability to walk and chew gum at the same time, basically. So I think it's a really nice play that when I saw it, I was like, hey, that's something that not every quarterback can do. He's getting bear hugged, and he gets the ball off. Now we get to the fourth quarter, starting early. First, one of the early plays in the fourth quarter. There's a play action, clean pocket, hits a slant across the middle of the field perfectly. So that's the kind of NFL stuff that you like to see. That's an NFL type play. That's an NFL type throw. So that was good. And then we get to our final 10 minutes of the fourth quarter here. 9:35. Looked like there was a broken play where he was maybe expecting a zone read and the running back never got there. I'm not sure. Very awkward looking. He just runs into the teeth of the defense for a couple yards. It's not much, but I do appreciate the fact that he was able to turn a busted play into a couple. Every little bit helps. There's a big third down with a little less than 9 minutes left. He escapes the sack with a spin move. It's a nice play. It shows that very frustrating magician-like ability to escape duress, but he misses the deep out. He has a deep out that he can hit to pick up a first down and keep the drive going, but he misses it. And I understand he's on the move, but you need a little bit more than that. Hold on, let me get rid of that. Gets the ball back with 5:30 left. Gets a clean pocket. 5:31. Wide open intermediate receiver. Just completely butt naked open. Awful overthrow. I'm not really sure what happened here. There's no touch on the ball. I think he needed to like layer it between the linebackers and the safeties, and he just tries to whistle it in there, and it's got no chance. It's way off, and it's a really bad throw, and it's a really bad miss in this big spot of the game. It's hard to not amplify it a little bit because Alabama was fighting for their life in this game. They were fighting for their playoff life in many ways, and a throw like this cannot help but make you think, and this guy, the accuracy is not there. I think it's just a matter of mechanics because I don't think anything happened on this play that made him throw that poorly. I don't think the receiver ran the wrong route. It's just a bad throw. And then the very next play, he gets sacked on third down. It's a big blitz. It gets home, but you're not in that spot if you hit the previous play, which I think most quarterbacks will hit most of the time, but he missed it. They get the ball back with a little less than 2.5 minutes left. There's a short out route, and it's another horrific overthrow. Probably a product of his feet being too wide, but he wings it out of bounds. He's got the short out to pick up a few yards to start the drive. Probably would have been like 5 yards. Instead, the ball sails way out of bounds. It looks very uncomfortable throwing the ball to me. Again, I feel like the feet are just too wide, but just look at the way he's throwing the ball. It looks like he's throwing... It looks like he's chucking a cinder block, the way the Hawks Nest keeps putting it. If you've been watching him, that's the comp he uses, and it's apt. And then the very next play, He holds the ball too long. He actually gets a pretty clean pocket for a while, but he holds onto the ball too long, can't find anything, gets pressured, and has to check it down ultimately. So that's an instance, one of the not super common, but nevertheless prevalent instances, I think, of him holding on the ball too long. And with 2 minutes left, there's a stunt, gets home on a third down. He ends up throwing a slant off of his back foot. And it's hard to kill Milroe for this because the throw is being caused by the pressure from the stunt, but it's behind an open receiver and off his hands. And if he hits that throw, he might have had something. So Alabama ends up going for it on 4th and 22, and they don't get it because of a 15-yard penalty on, I can't remember who it was, somebody on Alabama. It was 4th and 22. They threw like a little screen, didn't get it. And then they got the ball back with 1:30 left, so they had one more chance. And on the first play of their last chance drive to go save the game, Milroe, game-ending interception, late slant throw, stares down the receiver. The safety reads his eyes. It's all the stuff about Milroe that concerns you about him as a quarterback. So you see the stuff that people are critical of very easily here. So game-ending interception. It's late. It's an open slant. He's got it. He's got at least some yards to start the drive, but the safety jumps all over it because he's staring the receiver down, and that's the ball game. And in many ways, that was kind of the beginning of the end for Alabama's season. And you can see the concern here. Like, if you look at this tape objectively, you see a player who is nowhere close to being ready to go. And this is the stuff that worries me about him long term. All right, I'm going to go and get out of here. I am going to do one more video later today, also on Milroe, so keep an eye out for that, but I'll save that for later. See you guys later. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think. That was the bad tape.